Hey everyone, welcome back to Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader. Welcome to a new episode for this unfair playthrough. Right now we start this episode here on the galaxy map. We just finished Raikadiphilia. We got some profit facto, we bought some items. Today we are gonna go back to the bridge, starting right now, to be honest, and we are gonna continue exactly some chores there. I want to see exactly what can we do, what can we finish, and after that we are gonna go to Raikad Manoris and we are gonna go and finish the first part of this planet. So let's get back to the bridge. I wonder if we are gonna start having the meeting with the spin webs, blood spurs or whatever they are called, the blade dancers. I want to see exactly if we can go to some other compartments.
Captain, your lordship.
Sector Bionica. Huh. This might be the one with the augments. Let's go to the voidship shrine. Okay, so here it is where we are gonna have a puzzle. So basically what you need to do, you need to press on these and you need to spell Furia. So this is first one, as you can see it's an F. I think this one it's a new. Next R, as you can see here. Next I and then A. So basically you need to spell Furia and it will give you something. Okay, there are some things that we need to do here. First thing first, I think we can get a rumor. I might be wrong. But first, let's do the checks. We are gonna start this episode with some save scamming. Argenta.
Among the antique weapons, you spot the maul known as the Ferrum Fatum. Legend has it that its head split when it cracked open the skull of the loathsome Daemon Brennazar the Flayer.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think we are all, so we can do this. Okay, let's do the puzzle. We need to go first here. I think. I think we need to investigate this first before doing the puzzle.
Halt! A power maul rests inside the glass. The inscription on the reliquary reads, "I am Wrath, I am the cleansing. Whosoever wields me walks in the footsteps of Furia."
Yeah, so basically what you need to do is basically spell Furia with those plates. So let's do this. We'll make green. I think we get a baton, like a bat, from here.
Glory to the great rogue trader.
You can check your sequence here. It's not a hard puzzle.
Glory to the great rogue trader.
You can check these on the internet if you like. I think this is it. Basically we can get this bat. I think I'm gonna use it with Abelard. And we gain a lot of experience. We get this unquenchable fury. It's interesting. The maximum push distance of this maul is 5 cells and the collision damage is increased by 5%. I'm gonna get this. We can basically equip 2 maces if we want with Abelard. Anyway, Okay, so this was the puzzle here. Really nice one, right? In case you do not know exactly how you can complete it, or exactly why do we need to press the sequence of these plates. Basically, you need to spell out Furia. Let's do the rest of the checks. So we do the Imperium one.
The Imperium Invictum. The shards of an unknown Angevin Crusade warrior's twin blades returned from pirate captivity by the grace of the Emperor.
Let's try and do this commerce one. It's a tricky one.
As it should be.
An ancient
never mind.
sword without a fuel engine rests on the weapon rack. The shape of its teeth makes you think of the Ulma Universalis, a pattern from the Angevin Crusade era.
Okay. Is there anything else that we can do here? We can offer a prayer if we like. Let's speak with the confessor.
Confessor Adalbert, a plump, rosy-cheeked old man, is lighting candles, taking his time with each. Glints of fire dance on his heavy golden aquila and in his sky-blue eyes as he addresses you, smiling.
The Emperor protects your lordship. Are you here to pray, or have mundane matters brought you to me?
There is an incredibly profound quality to his voice, and he speaks with mesmerizing timbre.
Remind me what it is you do on my ship.
I am the ship's confessor, your lordship. No vessel that abides by the Imperium's laws can sail the void without a spiritual guide. Even a smaller-sized ship that does not have a member of the ecclesiarchy on board entrusts all matters of faith to a layperson who is a staunch adherent of the creed. A rogue trader's flagship, naturally, is expected to have a confessor who comes from a line of his reverent servants. I am such a one. I am entrusted with caring for the reliquary chapel and the dynastic crypt. I also conduct liturgies, consecrate the ship's bays, and strengthen the crew's hearts whenever a dark hour is upon us, lest any among them falter in the face of the horrors lurking in the darkness and fail in their duty.
Tell me about the dynastic crypt.
Every rogue trader takes care to maintain an appropriate place of repose on board their flagship, for their capital may change with the passing of centuries, but the vessel of the Emperor's anointed serves them for millennia. It is more than just a symbol of the dynasty's authority. It is the source of its power, the Lord Captain's seat in the void whence they reign over their many lands. The Von Valancius crypt is where rogue traders and their most loyal servants are laid to rest. As the ship's confessor, I perform the rites of burial and remembrance for these honored dead.
Adalbert lets out a heavy sigh.
It never occurred to this old man that he might have to send Lady Theodora on her final journey, but all is the Emperor's will.
I would like to find out more about this place.
Adalbert smiles warmly at you.
I could talk about the reliquary chapel for hours.
Is this the only place of worship on the ship?
Why, no. There are multiple sancta on every deck, where your subjects pray fervently, and the clergy keeps a close watch on the firmness of their faith. This, on the other hand,
He gestures around at the glittering reliquary.
is the holiest of holy places, where only the noblest among your servants are permitted to set foot.
Where does this collection of sacred relics come from?
Every relic we have here was either arduously tracked down by your ancestors, captured in battle against the faithless, or received as a gift for glorious deeds. A show of loyalty to the Emperor that speaks for itself, does it not?
He makes no effort to conceal his pride.
For our part, we keep the precious relics intact and undisturbed as we conduct liturgies and perform rites. Initiate Zeke is especially diligent in his care for the relics. Though he is of common stock, he earned his position through dedication and piety.
Okay, let's get some iconoclast buffs. I want those on other decks to be able to partake of this exuberance as well.
Adalbert's eyebrows arch upward.
Truly a most generous and gracious gesture, your lordship. I will arrange for commoners who have distinguished themselves in their service to be allowed in here. An event like that will fill them with fervor, and they will pass down the memory of what they have seen to their offspring.
I have other questions, and I
will
have
do
a
my
lot
best
of
to
them.
answer them.
I would like to hear the Imperium's tenets from you.
In a voice brimming with solemnity, Adalbert begins.
Every man and woman has their place in the order he created, and this order must be followed, and the will of one's superiors obeyed. Beware of witches, for they have been stained by the warp, persecute mutants, for they are perversions of the human form, and hate the accursed Xenos.
The Imperial Creed prescribes being wary of psychers, but the Imperium needs them.
You are right. Without the astropaths, we are deaf and blind, and there are many other psychers laboring for the good of humanity. That is their place within the Emperor's design, but only those among them who accept his light and have been authorized.
Idira scoffs contemptuously.
For once in your life, you could just admit that it doesn't take a tongue calloused from prayer to handle the warp's dangers.
The Ecclesiarchy tells us to persecute mutants, but an exception was made for navigators.
The Navis Nobilite are different from most humans, but their differences are a blessing. They are noble servants of the Imperium who help humanity expand its galactic domain. Do you not see that as a higher purpose that pleases the Emperor?
It is a pleasure to hear that, unlike the ignorant rabble, you give due acknowledgement to the greatness of our deeds, Confessor.
Among the Adeptus Mechanicus, the Emperor is known as Omnissiah. They have their own form of worship. Do they truly share our beliefs?
Most certainly. Different likenesses of the Emperor and ways of worshipping him can be found across the Imperium's worlds, but we all believe in the One.
I think having Pasquale here might add something to this conversation, but it is what it is. Come to think of it, my warrant entitles me to violate the Imperial Creed in many ways.
Violate? Those are not to be conceived of as violations. A rogue trader's privileges come with a duty. The duty to expand the bounds of human influence. If the rogue trader must take responsibility for unorthodox solutions or actions in the course of performing that duty, then so be it.
It seems there are more holes in the Imperium's religion than parasites on Grax.
You forget yourself, Captain.
If Argente's glare could burn, you would be a handful of ash by now.
Not even a rogue trader is allowed to blaspheme against the Holy Faith.
Adalbert clutches his chest and exclaims in a fearful voice.
For the sake of your own soul's salvation, this conversation is over.
Okay. Let's pray.
You recite a prayer, the one you remember best.
Okay, what else can we do here? We can speak with these guys. Let's speak with this one first. I think we have some sales coming to do here. So let's get on to it.
The broad-shouldered young priest makes the sign of the Aquila.
The Emperor protects your lordship. How may I be of service?
Who are you?
Initiate Zeke, your lordship. I recite prayers and help Confessor Adalbert with the rites.
What is this relic next to you?
The initiate looks over at the sarcophagus. The skeleton within is clutching an orb made up of many tightly fitted hoops covered in glyphs.
A mysterious object, but undeniably a holy one. It was donated by a group of pilgrims who studied the legacy of the great missionary Nadine Alinikov. They believed there was something inside that only someone truly righteous was meant to have. One of the pilgrims was so desperate to witness the moment of the orb's opening that they bequeathed their body to us.
Hey, Riddle.
Cassia's eyes light up with curiosity.
It would be most interesting to learn what is stored inside. Lord Captain, would you like to try opening the orb?
Do you have any idea on how to open this orb?
One of your predecessors was the last to attempt solving this relic's mystery. It happened a long time ago, before Lady Theodora was born. That's all I know.
Why not just disassemble it?
To damage a sacred relic is an unthinkable crime, and to use force to bypass the test of wisdom and faith it contains is terrible blasphemy.
Open the reliquary. I am going to try to solve the mystery of this orb.
The initiate opens the lock and hands you the orb. Someone has already moved the hoops around, trying to arrange the letters into meaningful sentences. It will only take a few more rotations for the orb to split cleanly into 4 parts, each with its own question. The answers should presumably be formed using adjoining hoops.
Okay, so here the puzzle is Throne Blood Witness Purity.
My light reaches everywhere. The greedy will see me in gold, the scholars in humanity's cradle, but only the righteous will see me within their souls.
So first one is Throne.
For better or worse, something clicks inside the orb. I am within every human, and my loss is feared, for without me comes the end. But give me to the Emperor, and you will be eternal.
This is blood.
The answer immediately comes to you. It is blood. You have spilt it too many times in the name of faith for you not to realize that it is the most precious offering one can give him. Another soft click comes from inside the orb. I am poison. I am perdition. I am disgrace. Burn me down, eradicate me, or perish rejected by the Emperor. Your sharp mind quickly scours the recesses of your memory for any fragments of Nadine Aleinikoff's sermons. You recall that she mercilessly denounced the weakness of those who have faith in the Emperor, but are incapable of translating that faith into deeds. She must have despised this shortcoming of the soul more than any other. With a click, the hoop settles into place.
Form the question in the orb's remaining quarter.
In your body, mind, and soul, you must possess me. I am no mere absence of stains. I bring you closer to him.
If I recall the pages of Life of Nadine Aleinikoff correctly, this part speaks about purity. The saint saw it as the quintessence of all other virtues.
The orb comes alive. Its hoops shift around with alarming speed, coming together and folding into each other until the orb opens completely, laying its treasure bare. The initiate stares at the relic in your hand, stunned.
How strange and exciting it is to behold the holy object that has lain hidden from the eye for so many years. Truly, it is a great day upon which the rogue trader himself has revealed the legacy of great missionaries to us all.
It's about time.
Okay, so speaking with this guy first will help you finish this puzzle. But keep in mind, the solution is Throne Blood Weakness Purity. Okay, let's speak with this one.
A lanky initiate is leaning over the cogitator, an expression of extreme mental effort on his face, his fish-like round eyes peering into the screen.
Grant me understanding, Master. Grant me wisdom.
He winces as you approach.
Your Lordship, how can I be of service?
Who are you and what do you do here?
I am Clotus, Junior Cleric. I sought recordings from the Shrine Confessional to pass on to higher-ranking clergy.
Tell me more about this confessional.
Our parishioners come here to repent, to share their innermost thoughts and observations of their neighbors. The sacred machine records all confessions and alters the voices beyond recognition.
Is there a way to find out who made which confession?
There is not.
Clodus shakes his head resolutely.
That would undermine the usefulness of it. The first prototype wasn't anonymous, so those confessions might as well have been carbon copies of each other. Everyone was impeccably diligent and pious and whatnot. But as soon as the machine spirits started keeping the names secret, the parishioners opened up.
Good thinking, making it anonymous. Keep up the fine work.
I will endeavor to do so, your lordship.
I have other questions.
What does your lordship wish to know?
It appears you have difficulties.
Nothing escapes your lordship's notice. As it so happens, I am struggling to categorize 3 rather peculiar confessions. I wouldn't have dared tell you about them, but I think they may have been left by senior officers, which would make this a matter of the highest order, one that is far beyond my meager understanding. These confessions, you see, are far from being examples of pious conformity. I dread the very thought of dissent or heresy poisoning the minds of some of the most eminent members of the crew, but I cannot change what I heard.
He bows his head in reverence.
I cannot share this with anyone but the Emperor's anointed, nor can I allow anyone but your lordship to listen to these messages protected by the secrecy of confession.
What makes you think these confessions were made by senior officers?
These parishioners are well-spoken, meaning they are used to addressing an audience. Perhaps they issue orders and are vested with power. And, well, after categorizing so many confessions, I have learned to notice the subtle differences between them.
Let me hear them.
The initiate steps aside, putting the cogitator at your disposal.
Recording 17FL2. Alleg dissent, impious doubt.
One question has troubled me for years. Why are some destined to perish in the warp, while others must go on living and preserve the memory of the dead? Worthier and more luminous souls have been lost, and yet I am still here.
Light static is distorting the recording, but you are confident that the speaker is male.
Second recording.
The orphans on the ship have already been provided with the bare essentials, but every so often I consider increasing their rations and ordering more sets of clothes for them. That will not replace the families they lost, but it will improve their lives somewhat, especially given that the ship has enough resources to cover that comparably trivial expense.
Despite the poor sound quality, you determine the voice to be male. You do not know who on the ship is in charge of the orphans, if anyone.
I already know. It's basically the ones that are really interested in the orphans are Argenta and the other dude with the fire, with the glasses. I know who he is, so I don't think I'm gonna basically reload for this one.
Lop-eared kleppers display a high degree of socialization, both among their kind and toward their owners. These animals adjust well to a voidship's lower gravity, since it is similar to their homeworld's conditions. Lop-eared klepper meat is edible, should necessity demand it.
The voice sounds muffled, as though from behind a thick layer of glass, but is unmistakably a woman's.
Step away from the cogitator.
The initiate looks at you, intrigued, but does not say a word.
I'm curious to know who left this confession. I will seek them out.
I suppose those confessions truly are special if your lordship is giving them his personal attention.
The initiate bows deeply.
Never would I have imagined the rogue trader himself coming to my aid.
Regarding your confession sorting problem.
Have you come up with something, your lordship?
Nope, apparently nothing.
Of course, Lord Captain.
I will leave you to your concerns.
The initiate replies very solemnly.
I labor for the glory of the Emperor and House von Valancius.
Okay, so to finish this, we need to speak with the relevant parties. Okay, let's go back to the bridge. We're gonna go a little bit later on the others other compartments. Right now I want to go on right side Minoris, but I think the confession with the child was made by this dude, Henrik Montag, because we left him in the charge of the kids.
The Lord Captain himself. To what do I owe the honor? Comparing permissible.
Have you made a confession lately?
Sounds like the start of an interesting conversation.
He looks you directly in the eye.
Oh, I have not.
The orphans on the ship have already been provided with the bare essential, have they not?
The bare minimum, yes. I sometimes check in on our little ragamuffins. They don't have it easy, no parents, and they live like new recruits in an infantry regiment. Please, your lordship, do not neglect the children.
Why are some destined to perish in the warp while others must go on living?
Heinrich takes a long puff, burning up half the low stick in one go.
I don't know, Lord Captain. I simply don't know. Too many good men have been devoured by the damned warp, and it will never be sated. It's hard to think about it.
Literally, you prefer private conversation.
You are right. I'm used to talking about important things in heart-to-heart conversations.
Heinrich flashes you a genuine smile.
Doe, like the one we are having right now.
Okay, if you are not the one,
Comparing
maybe it's Abelard. Cassie, I think you want to eat those things.
Words cannot describe how boring the bridge is without our stimulating conversations.
I don't think we spoke with her. Tell me about yourself.
what are they up to?
I am a part of House Orselio, an ancient dynasty of the Navis nobility. Since time immemorial, our family has served to advance knowledge, pushing at the boundaries of the dark unknown. The Starway Atlas contains 2,843 routes that chart the sectors of the Segmentum Obscurus and reach all the way from the Koronus Expanse to Holy Terror.
Comparing
Listen in silence.
And uniting the Imperium's thousands of worlds. House Orselio is bound by commercial pacts to houses Galeatis, Ortina, Drotus, and... There is a dark blue knot tightening on your neck, Lord Captain. I can see my reply is not satisfying your thirst for knowledge. What is it you desire to hear exactly?
they don't normally.
Navigators identify so strongly with their house. It must be difficult for you not to be able to learn on your elders. But you have my word that I will look after you.
Hey, what
You will? That would be most appreciated, Lord Captain.
comparing permissible objectives?
So you never lived anywhere other than Urak 5?
Tools do.
Hardly. According to the chronicles of the house, I was born on one of the Orselio worlds. Oh, what was it? Please forgive me, Lord Captain. My childhood memories are too vague. Sometimes I dream about the colorful birds that built their nests in the garden, or the servants dressed in purple livery, or the blue fog that rolled over the lowlands behind the palace. But everything is covered in a rosy haze. Perhaps it is my imagination, not my memory, that is painting these pictures.
Tell me about your life on the station.
My stay on the station was wholly dedicated to preparing me for my future duty. Astromancy, astrography, numerology, the histories of my house and the Imperium, as well as other disciplines. For many years, dozens of instructors tirelessly prepared me for my destiny. And once a year, Great Regent Alronto would come to the station. He would entrust his beautiful vessel to my command, so that I could master the practical aspects of our art as well.
What are they up to? Hey,
Did you have friends, someone you could turn for a simple conversation, not a discussion or yet another lecture?
The Regent gave me a bird from a sunlit planet once. I tried to befriend it and make it sing, but for some reason, it refused and died soon after. The instructors were too respectful of my duty to my house to waste precious time on idle chatter. Aside from them, there were only servants on the station, and you know they have their vocal cords removed, so they cannot break their vow of silence.
By the throne.
And since the subject has been breached, Lord Captain, why do you not follow this honored tradition? Your decks are so garish. Apologies, I meant noisy. The rabble don't just chatter. Sometimes they shout and even sing. Why do you allow such a lack of restraint? Rogue traders are highborn, are they not?
What are they up to? Hey, what are you rust buckets doing here all together? What are they looking at? External hardware.
Let's go with this one. I'm not gonna maim my guys. But Rural cannot maim people just because it is in his power to do so. On the contrary, it is his duty of every ruler to look after his subjects.
Your words sound amazingly blasphemous. If a ruler's duty dictates the need for violence, would dispensing it not be their responsibility? I will contemplate your answer in solitude.
They don't normally use these.
Your third eye, do you always conceal it?
The navigator's open eye is baneful to whoever the warp's ruinous shine falls upon, and therefore it is the symbol of our power. We are the guiding stars of humanity, found worthy of an uncommon gift, and one of the duties that we bear is to guard our eye, even from wayward glances that may bear evil.
What are they?
Besides, I am aware that lesser servants of the Imperium may find our appearance repulsive. The navigator gene twists the features the rabble are used to seeing, and the magnificence of our role cannot be grasped by their feeble minds.
What are they up to? Hey.
Who cares for the opinion of the short-sighted rabble? They can serve us and die for us and keep their thoughts to themselves.
Comparing.
I am not ashamed of my appearance, nor do I require anyone's approval.
By the throne.
What does it feel like to guide a vessel through the warp?
It may be difficult to describe. You see, every navigator perceives the warp differently. My mentor, Great Regent Elronto, always described his travels through the Immaterium as a journey through a vast wood with countless paths. And I, assisting him in the first voyages, futilely tried to follow his example. But the wood would not reveal itself to me.
What are you rust buckets doing here all together?
But everything changed when I found my own key to this mystery. You see, I've always brightened up my rare moments of leisure time by painting. You may recall there was a workshop in my chambers. As soon as I imagined the warp as a blank canvas, an indescribable feeling came over me. I moved the brush, going deeper and deeper into my own painting. Visions were hidden within the vibrant colors of my palette, and something inside me knew which should be brought out and which should be left behind. I woke up several days later, after the voyage was safely complete.
Rust buckets doing here all together.
I noticed that your love of painting is reflected in your speech as well. You associate so many images with hue and colors.
The Emperor graced me with a gift. I can see inner life in addition to the mundane. You cannot know that a fruit has rotten from the inside until a blade slices it in two. I can see the rot from far away. It roils like swamp mud, oozing through the bright peel. Anger and boredom, sadness and joy. Everything that people shut away inside themselves is revealed to me like colors on the canvas of my world.
What are they up
Why
to?
don't we talk about something else?
What are you rust buckets doing?
You will hear no objection from me, Lord Captain.
Tell me about House Orselio.
Permissible objective.
As the only voice of our family on this vessel, it is an honor. As long as your questions are courteous, I will answer every one of them.
I take it House Orselio has a rich history.
Rust buckets do.
Oh, yes. The navigators of the house came to the Koronus Expanse fairly recently, a mere 208 years ago. Before that, our ancestors expanded the borders of humankind's dominion for the glory of the Emperor, blazing trails to different corners of the galaxy.
What are they up to? Hey,
Who rules
what
the
are
house?
rust buckets doing here?
Just as a rogue trader stands at the head of a protectorate, a Novator heads a navigator house. It is the Novator who decides where to look for alliances and which path their bloodline is destined to tread. As for our house, the transfer of power to a successor is currently underway. In the meantime, Great Regent Auronto Orselio is ensuring the stability of the house.
Comparing
You lived in seclusion on a closed station until Fele committed his sabotage, so then you must be the Novator's successor?
So says Regent Auronto. Nothing is decided yet. Some people in the house become enshrouded in rolling grey clouds at the thought of me becoming the Novator. But even more are bound with dull leaden chains. They think I am not ready for such a burden.
by the throne.
Is the Orselio prophecy system named after your ancestor?
You are shrewd indeed. My ancestor charted that route while fleeing the enemies of humanity. They say the Emperor himself was his guide, because the warp expelled their vessel without a single loss. Unfortunately, the lips of those who relate this tale seep with disgusting green hubris. I think Kalain Orselio was simply a skilled navigator.
What are they looking at?
With your permission, I would like to talk about something else.
By all means.
What does your special sight reveal?
Don't normally.
Sister Argenta shines like a guiding star, inspiring resolve in those around her, seemingly inexplicably. However, I see a dark and ugly fog billow behind her, contrasting sharply with her shining light. It burdens the Sister of Battle. It drags her down. Yet Argenta herself is hardly aware of it. Seneschal Viserion is among the few whose colors are a pleasure to look at. Whenever the Seneschal speaks, heavenly crystal clarity spreads around him. And whenever he is angered, dark blue clouds condense over him. And in his rare moments of joy, a pure gleam of sunset pink caresses the souls of those near him. Out of your entire retinue, Lord Captain, he is the only one I would trust with my life.
Normal hardware.
Idira's emotions are like a maelstrom, bright, unbridled, enveloping her form like a wondrous kaleidoscope of colors. And as dangerous as a twisting warp storm. The riot of colors hides the truth from my eyes. What exactly is driving this woman? Is it her own will, or is it the Immaterium, Lord Captain?
Use these tools, do they?
This is where I must beg my leave.
I have enjoyed your company. Thank you for the conversation.
Okay, so she didn't speak about those things to be eaten. Let's talk with Argenta. Okay, neither she,
Comparing permissible manufacturing complexes reported.
maybe Idira or Sourback. Abelard, I think you are the one who gave food to the kids.
Heresy.
Lord Captain. Lord Captain.
You are not the one. Janice, I know that we might need to speak about a little bit.
Greets you with a cool smile and the merest hint of a bow.
Pleasure to see you, Lord Captain. How may I be of assistance?
Perpetuation
Have you made a confession lately?
against the temptation.
Your Lordship, you are truly masterful at springing unexpected questions on a man.
God.
However, I must admit, I don't quite understand this one.
Why are some destined to perish in the warp while others must go on living?
A philosophical question. I imagine it is due to a complicated mix of experience, luck, and most of all, the Emperor's favor.
The orphans on the ship have already been provided with the bare essential, have they not?
The
Yeah, this
factotum
one is.
fidgets nervously with the rings on his fingers until he musters the courage to reply.
I will not pry into how your lordship found out about my confession. I suppose it raised some questions for you.
I am willing to allocate extra resources to provide for the orphans.
I marvel at your generosity. Will there be any specific instructions, your lordship?
Make sure they get things that will bring them little moments of joy, sweet toys. They deserve it.
You are a truly charitable soul, your lordship.
Janris looks away, awkwardly trying to pull the handkerchief out of his pocket to wipe his eyes.
That's never happened.
Vigdis informed me about the problem with the servitors. What happened?
You see, your lordship, the ship's servitors have been malfunctioning of late. They violate protocols, interrupt their tasks, observe crew members for long periods of time, and move erratically with no meaning or purpose.
Janris Danrock nervously pulls on his luxurious frock coat as if it were uncomfortably tight.
Had it been a routine technical fault, I would have decided the fate of these servitors myself, but I deemed it necessary to notify you. I do not wish to hide such irregularities from the Lord Captain.
Look, it's settled on its own. That's never happened before.
If you wish to observe the servitors' unusual behavior before you decide their fate, this can be arranged. The majority of the defective units have been delivered to one of the storage compartments pending your decision.
I wish to take a look at these servitors before deciding their fate.
As you wish, your lordship.
Sector, data unavailable. Region, data unavailable. Location, Von Valancia's flagship, lower decks. Material, report of a tech phenomenon that was observed during the Lord Captain's visit to Bay AKN 108, from the words of High Factotum, Janris Danrock. When his lordship arrived at the scene, he found the servitors in the same position that they assumed after they had been corralled into the bay, all standing in a long spiraling line and facing the center of their strange formation. The moment his lordship crossed the threshold of the bay gate, their bodies jerked into motion, all as one, as if obeying a command. The servitors turned to face the Lord Captain. The technomats tasked with overseeing the defective units even reached for their weapons. But then the servitors went still just as abruptly, staring at his lordship with vacant eyes. All present held their breath. Disturbed by this sight, we waited for the Lord Captain to speak. His Lordship Captain von Valancius
Took several steps towards the servitors.
Immediately, the servitors, each and every one of them, stepped toward the Lord Captain in perfect unison. They mimicked his movements with frightening precision. The rogue trader halted in place and, after a moment's thought, waved his hand. And the servitors, just as synchronously, repeated that gesture as well. Reboot completed. When the Lord Captain turned quizzically to the technomats, so did the servitors, as if mocking him. Whatever the Lord Captain did, be it an incline of the head, a wave of a hand, or a step to the side, the defective units repeated it without a moment's delay or hesitation, like grotesque marionettes controlled by an unseen puppeteer. We observed this mime unfold in distressed bafflement for nearly a minute, until the servitors finally came to a stop. Not sensing any threat from them, the rogue trader approached with confidence.
Examined the servitors. The Lord Captain examined the servitors.
As High Factotum, it was I who had prompted that entire inspection, and thus it was my duty to follow the Lord Captain. As we stepped closer, we noticed a fascinating irregularity. The servitors' pupils, normally still, were shaking wildly. Their bulging veins were pulsating under their copper collars inscribed with their past offenses. It was as if those mindless half-machines were locked in a perpetual state of extreme tension. A visibly shaken technomat behind us proposed that the human souls had awakened within the servitors' bodies after a long slumber deep within their lobotomized brains. Formerly bereft of intelligence, they had attained awareness, feeling, and understanding. After a pause, the technomat added that the servitors used to function properly and that no one had been able to explain the change in their behavior. his gaze still trained on the motionless but animate half machines and half people. The Lord Captain
Stepped away from the servitors. We are not gonna go heretical.
All present held their breath. Disturbed by this sight, we waited for the Lord Captain to speak. His Lordship Captain von Valancius. Proceeding to execution of progress.
I think if we go to examine it will go the same. Demand a report on defective unit status from the Technomats.
The Technomat's long-winded and detailed report could have been summarized in a single key point, despite the servitors' abnormal behavior. They were still quite capable of carrying out tasks, and therefore the circumstances did not call for their termination. Registering violation. Error in central processor. Error in central processor. All present held their breath. Disturbed by this sight, we waited for the Lord Captain to speak. His Lordship Captain von Valancius
Ordered that one of the servitors be disassembled and its component investigated.
A group of Technomats hurried to act upon the Lord Captain's command. The servitor's mechanical parts separated with clicks, snaps and hisses. The sutures between its wrinkled pale flesh and its augments were laid disgustingly bare. We watched the Technomats do their work and could see every centimetre of the servitor's stiff muscles abounding with valves and cavities pierced by countless cords and tubes. The disassembly and analysis complete, the Technomats concurred the unit was in working order. Nothing in the dissected body that lay before us could provide any insight into the reason behind the defects. I should make note of one more thing. At that moment, all of us present discovered that not just the eyes, but the hands and heads of some of the servitors were now shaking too. It was as if the mechanized servants were overcome with some primordial terror. Registering violation. Error in central processor. Error in central processor. All present held their breath. Disturbed by this sight, we waited for the Lord Captain to speak. His Lordship Captain von Valancius. That's never happened before. I'll be damned.
Turned to me to announce his decision.
His Lordship looked at me with unwavering resolve, and it was that confidence that wrenched me out of the nightmarish stupor that had me tensely observing the scene unfolding before me. The Lord Captain gave the order.
Okay, we are gonna go dogmatic route. To send the servitors back to toil as they had toiled before, for they had not yet paid their duties for the crimes of their past lives and thus did not deserve clemency.
On the Lord Captain's orders, the servitors were returned to the same decks where they had worked before. The crew was initially unnerved by their presence, but adapted to their quirks soon enough, especially since, following the incident in question, there was a noticeable reduction in the servitors' strange behavior. With the fate of the defective servitors decided, nothing could now distract the Lord Captain from his mission. Registering violation. Error in central.
Okay, we completed the quest. Let's learn a little bit. Is it Sourback with the...
Captain! Lord Captain.
The Master-at-Arms snaps to attention, ready to carry out your order.
Lower your voice conspirationally. The lop-eared Klepas, the confession.
She cocks an eyebrow.
Please repeat your orders, Lord Captain.
Let the blessing of the
The Klepas, Jocasta. I know everything. Can you shut up, my dude?
Flares in her gaze.
I am ready to answer any questions as soon as I understand what you mean, Lord Captain.
What is the dirty secret behind those strange words? Tell me.
I have no embarrassing secrets or weaknesses. Please recite the charge so that I can make a formal statement.
It was a test.
Words ring with pride.
It was a test. You passed, Jocasta.
Sourback nods respectfully.
A stress interrogation is a good tool for exposing ideologically weak elements.
She lowers her voice slightly. Eh.
It is usually conducted under duress. Thank you for choosing to omit that part for me.
I wonder what that was.
Proud?
Yeah. Proud the dynasty. Idira. Do you like to eat strange shit? Where are you?
What are they after? Do you copy? Finish the cleaning. To know the true rights of maintenance.
When Idira sees you, her lips curve into a smile, and she nods at something over your shoulder.
Okay, so she is not Idira. You seem to have very strong reaction to what Argenta said by the broken lens.
It was just my nerves playing up. Something about our little saint doesn't sit right with me, and I trust my gut. Oh sure, she seems straight as an arrow and as predictable as a hangover after drinking. But when I look at her, something about her makes my brain itch. After that conversation, I tried to listen to what was being said about her. Beyond the door, what I heard was strange. Blood in her past, twilight in her present, and something like a star leading her. But where is it leading her? I saw several roads, and all of them frightened me.
And what does it all mean?
If I knew, I would have told you. Hearing things clearly requires cooperation from the other person, you know. But that cobra just hisses and spits its venom at me. I don't trust her one bit.
Maybe we should warn Argenta.
Oh yeah, you go ahead and tell her the wicked Psyker has divined something about her. She'll be so pleased and grateful, and of course she'll listen to what you have to say. No, that would be pointless. And anyway, I'm not even sure what it all means. Maybe the danger is to her, or maybe the danger's coming from her.
Idira's words drip with naked animosity.
Ah, too bad. We failed this awareness test.
Always at your service. Whenever you need.
I don't think it's worth... let me check. Yeah. It's not worth going back. So who else basically...
Registering violation. Error in central testing void shield. Error in confirmed.
Made the confession. The only woman here on the void ship is Master Vigdis. She's a woman.
When you approach, Vigdis pulls away from fine-tuning another box and bows her head. Lord Captain, the ship informed me of our imminent meeting.
The Lapierre de Klepas, the confession.
I
Okay.
assume you heard my confessional message. Vigdis replies, without a hint of awkwardness. Do you wish to talk about it?
What are they looking at?
The important question is why?
I was fault-checking the Vox devices in the ship's reliquary. Message recording works, but deletion does not. You have helped me establish that. Thank you.
Wait, why Lapierre de Klepas specifically?
At that time, I had nothing to repent of, so I dictated an excerpt from an old letter to my mother. As you heard, it contained arguments in favor of keeping lop-eared clappers on the ship. I can still recite it from memory.
Comparing permissible objectives.
Vigdis, I want a pair of Klepas aboard the ship.
Normally use these.
I am going to quote my mother's response. That is impossible. You see, the species went extinct several centuries ago. Vigdis's voice grows ever so slightly warmer. I am very sorry, Lord Captain. There aren't any clappers to be had.
Your confession perplexed the initiative. Or the initiate. Find a way to delete it and we shall forget about it.
Will do, Lord Captain. Would you like to discuss other matters?
Have the Vox spirits brought you anything interesting lately?
Forgive me, Lord Captain. I have no information that would be of interest to you at this moment.
What are you rust buckets?
I live to serve, Lord Captain.
Okay. What else? The third confession came from a woman. The first two voices seems to be male ones, lamented the fate of those who have died in the war. Okay, maybe the last one is with Master Hellman.
The tall man before you appears to be woven from tendons and muscle. Blue veins snake under his...
Yeah, we already know that. Remind me who you are.
I'm the master helmsman, Lord Captain. I stand at the wheel of this here tub, your vessel, and bark commands at the idiots who tend to its related systems. In layman's terms, I'm the one who stops us from running into an asteroid or a disruptive gravitational wave when we're traveling through the void.
You must have dealings with the navigator as part of your duties.
Raver stares at you before blurting out, "Damn it, Lord Captain. To tell the truth, I've been asking myself, where'd the Lord Captain fish this Orcelio girl out of? Now, it's not like I've met many navigators, but this one, I don't feel safe with that little princess pulling our voidship through the warp. She's done a decent job so far, though, so I guess she's managing." Right you are, Lord Captain.
Have you made a confession lately?
No, I'm up to my connectors in work as it is.
Why are some destined to perish in the warp while others must go on living?
Those some weren't trying hard enough or listening to their higher-ups is all. Or has someone you know died on you, and I'm supposed to offer my sympathies? Raver grunts and looks away. Odd choice of person to come to with something like that, Lord Captain.
Thank you for your answers. It was definitely not you.
I'll be blasted if I understand a thing, but I'm here to serve. Something else you'd like to discuss?
Nope. Who else is here? So we spoke with Jocasta, we spoke with this one. Maybe we need to go on a different level.
What are they up to?
Maybe we need to wait for Pasquale.
Oh, great child of the Omniscient.
Shall see, we shall see. Breach Technomat. I don't think it's Abelard, right? We can also go and check the priest.
Lord Captain. Lord.
Let me go back to the chapel. After that we are gonna go to Rykard Minoris. I want to progress a little bit the mission there.
The vessel stands ready, Lord Captain.
It was the Void Shrine or the Astropathic Chapel, I think. Maybe the last part is on the Astropathic Chapel. Where that shore guy is. Fucking hell, let's speak with the priest, see exactly what's...
The Emperor protects your lordship. What brings you to this holy abode?
Okay, so apparently we can speak more with him. Tell me, Adalbert, do you visit Shrine Confessional to repent as the other officers do?
Why, I always find time for penance on my morning and evening shifts, your lordship.
Why are some destined to perish in the warp while others must go on living?
An irrelevant question.
His face takes on an expression of fathomless wisdom and calm.
Our fates are in the Emperor's hands, and he does as his plans require.
I see. It wasn't you.
For a moment I thought you had come to confess, but now I see you have taken on the role of cleric yourself. May the Emperor guide you on your quest for answers.
You are positively beaming with joy. A priest like you is a rare sight.
Adalbert laughs good-naturedly.
A fair observation. Everyone knows that the clergy must maintain a stern appearance to inspire fear and awe in their flock.
His mirth fades, giving way to a pensive gravitas.
The truth is that my clan and I experienced great hardship. I cannot explain how it is I am standing before you now, except by his will. How could one be anything but joyful knowing they were saved by the Emperor?
What happened to your clan?
I was scarcely more than a child when the malady struck our cabins. First would come the fever, then the unlucky victim would start retching blood. After that, they would melt away like a candle. Only the youngest survived, myself among them.
He smiles feebly.
But now my family is growing, and I am grateful for each new life that replaces one lost.
Still, your gentle manner may adversely affect your flock's fate.
An accurate observation from a lord who knows the importance of strong faith on his ship. The gentleness you speak of is skin deep. On the inside, my faith and spirit are pure adamantine. Decades instructing the crew in fighting the dangers of the void and the warp have required nothing less. My resolve in the face of the monstrous threats we face must always be 100-fold firmer than that of my flock.
I have other topics to discuss.
Of course, your lordship.
Did Lady Theodora come here often?
Your predecessor always had due concern for the reliquary's maintenance and its needs, and under her rule, faith occupied its proper place on this ship.
Adalbert gives you a diplomatic smile.
People confess to you, do they not? I am interested to know the thoughts of some of your subjects.
Ours is a throne-fearing flock that regularly leaves vox recordings in the shrine confessional housed in the eastern part of the reliquary. This allows us to maintain constant watch for any heretical tendencies. We can observe the earnesty with which our parishioners render their duties, as well as any dangerous dissent brewing in their minds. Initiate Clotus is responsible for sorting the confessions. He would be honored to offer you access to the confessional cogitator.
I must take my leave.
May the Emperor's blessing be with your lordship.
Since this episode it's already 1 hour, I think we are gonna go
The rogue trader.
on the Astropathic Chapel and check what's happening here. Basically finish this area. It might be this dude that basically is wondering why some are dying on the void or some are not.
Detecting extinguished candles.
Basically we can do these things here.
12 to 13.
We are gonna meet a new character.
At me with their burnt eyes like I'm a leper. I'm just passing through, all right? So you lots can calm down.
5 lashes 4.
Your presence has flooded the astropath souls with myriad shades of horror.
He sleeps at all.
No, we should not tarry here.
Okay, let's speak with Zachary Wise.
Follow his example.
Choirmaster Zachary Weiss, a tall old man in a long green robe, stands motionless in front of a cogitator. The closer you approach, the clearer you can hear his continuous, unintelligible whisper. You are...
A visit from the rogue trader is an honor for us.
Like other astropaths at the chapel, the choirmaster's eyes are bandaged over with time-worn scrolls of sacred manuscripts. Nevertheless, you cannot shake the feeling that his otherworldly glowing gaze is studying you keenly.
How can I be of use, your lordship?
Sanctioning is a brutal procedure, one which robs every astropath of the gift of sight. But in return, they gain a new kind of vision that allows them to see what ordinary people cannot. The light emanating from beneath the bandages flickers with strange hues as the choirmaster clutches his temple. His expression shifts in a way you are well familiar with. It is the look of one who has glimpsed the grim signs that evil has left upon your soul.
Have you made a confession lately?
The choirmaster replies, slightly perplexed.
I beg your lordship's pardon?
Why are some destined to perish in the warp while others must go on living?
Loud.
Yeah,
No.
nice.
He grimaces as though with pain.
Odd that you should have listened to my confession, and odd that you should choose to approach me afterward. Why?
I felt there was anguish in that confession. I wanted to help.
My confession made you anxious on my account, resulting in a waste of your time, for which I apologize. I am thankful for your consideration.
He smiles a bittersweet smile.
Death always keeps close to astropaths, and its punishments for arrogance and weaknesses are severe. I have seen my fellows die, and at times the memories are exceedingly hard to bear. Sadly, almost every choir has a story like that, and a survivor who has carried their ghosts with them ever since.
Weiss lets out a ragged breath.
My apologies, but I cannot continue worrying at these old wounds. Directing a choir requires a clear and firm state of mind.
Oh, did my nightmares scald you?
My apologies, your lordship. I sensed a strangeness in you, and my mind reached out of its own accord. I did not see much, but what I did see was enough. It grieves me to know that this, Mark, weighs on you so. Trust me, I am well acquainted with the oppressive burden of doom.
Remind me, who are you?
The wrinkled face and drooping corners of the mouth look focused, yet courteous at the same time.
My name is Zachary Weiss, your lordship. I am the choirmaster of the Astropathic Choir. I was posted to this ship soon after my soul-binding ritual on Holy...
The wrinkled face and drooping corners of the mouth look focused, yet courteous at the same time.
My name is Zachary Weiss, your lordship. I am the choirmaster of the Astropathic Choir. I was posted to this ship soon after my soul-binding ritual on Holy Terror. You might say I have been serving House von Valentius all my life.
How did you like serving under Lady Theodora?
I served her for 2 decades and never knew another Lord Captain before your ascension. With her, I had been through.
The choirmaster falls silent, as though briefly transported in his mind to another place. A shadow of regret creeps onto his face.
Many things. Lady Theodora had a good understanding of my significance within the overall mechanism of the ship's services.
Poorly concealed irritation creeps into the expression of regret on his face.
Which, however, did not stop her from neglecting my warnings.
I'm confused. So, how old are you?
If my calculations are correct, having factored in our movements through the warp, then I turned 34 a month and a half ago.
There's a pause. You can't quite decide if the old man in front of you is joking, but there is not the slightest hint of a smile on his face.
Tell me about the astropathic chore.
Of course, Lord Captain. Is there something specific you would like to know?
What is this place?
To us astropaths, this place is our cradle and our grave, Lord Captain. You are at the conflux of every secret missive, every order of prime importance, every scheme being plotted behind the scenes. You are at a place where each of your loyal astropaths is ready to lay down their life for crumbs of information, if that is your wish. We receive and send messages. For hours turning into days, we wander the dark depths of the immaterium, carrying our voice through the warp's eternal night, bringing it to our comrades in some remote refuge, accepting the voices, signals, and missives of others into our own abode. Those are most often meant for you, your lordship, and at times they are meant for no one.
Point to the mechanical drum. What device is this?
It is a sacred compiler that helps us record, store, and, to an extent, unriddle messages. The astropaths first receive these messages in the form of muddled images, dictating what they see to the machine, which logs their every word. From the reels of the receivers on the ceiling, the machine-recorded words are routed through lines under the floor into transcribers and then the thesaurus core. This core is the most important part of the mechanism, as it contains a vast catalogue of various symbols and the methods of their interpretation. The compiler matches the images in the message against its data and forwards the results to the central cogitator and myself so that I can begin the ritual of decoding. I know of no other choir that possesses so wise a mechanism, and I praise the God Emperor for its existence. However, while the compiler hastens the extraction of intelligible meaning from perplexing imagery, an astropath must still open their mind to interpretation, which is no less perilous than the rites of receiving or sending an astropathic message.
If your machine knows the meaning of the symbols, why can't it decode the message itself?
Regrettably for us all, your lordship, astropathic messages are not ciphered dispatches, but rather psychic imprints containing information. Only an astropath can read the entirety of something created through the medium of the warp. Furthermore, as messages pass through the immaterium, they might become distorted by malevolent intent. It falls to your servants alone to shield their mind with faith and separate the true meaning from the influence of the ruinous powers.
So if you wanted to hide certain information from me, you could.
Wise's face twists into a bitter grimace.
My duty is to shield you from the monstrous communications that filter through the warp. The screams of the Emperor's loyal servants, centuries dead by now. The nightmarish, maddening images of the Sea of Souls. The cursed symbols that cause astropaths to convulse in violent fits of frenzy. The messages from abominations in search of weak minds to devour. Concealing all of that from you is my duty.
How does one become an astropath?
We were all part of the Imperial tithe once. Psychers delivered to Terra on the black ships. But only a few of the candidates had what it took to study astropathy. Fewer still successfully completed the grueling training to be eligible for soul binding, and almost none survived the initiation.
He throws his head back.
We were given the privilege to behold the Emperor's light, a light flawless and searing.
A pious smile visits his lips.
That changes you. It wounds you irreparably. It takes your eyesight, but in exchange, you commune with greatness. His presence in our souls fortifies them as we stand against malicious powers. After the ritual, an astropath is assigned their position. At this or that Adeptus, an astropathic relay or a ship. More often than not, our first place of service is also our last.
If something happens to your chore, where can I find new astropaths?
The expression on his wrinkled face grows even more serious.
It would be more on point to say, when something happens. The Emperor's blessing protects us from the warp's various influences. However, there are horrors dwelling in the void for which even this defense would be no obstacle, especially if one spends as much time in their company as we do. There is only one way to procure astropaths, and that is through the Adeptus Administratum. Luck permitting, unattached astropaths from the sector will be posted to the ship, ones who, for whatever reason, have lost their place of service. Failing that, the request will go to Terra, and we will have to wait. A long time. That said, there are other options. Blasphemous, forbidden options.
The choirmaster grimaces.
Unsanctioned psychers. Unprotected and broken souls who seldom live past their first few seances. But even those would do, should the God Emperor put our souls through severe trials. And judging by how rabid the warp has been of late, by the number of dead astropaths, those trials will be upon us sooner than our prayers could reach Terra.
I know a couple of places where you can get new astropaths.
Idira grins maliciously.
That's of course if you don't insist on them being all classy and proper like this fried-eyed bunch.
I want to discuss other topics.
I am listening carefully, Lord Captain.
That odd noise inside the chapel, does it not bother you?
On the contrary, Lord Captain, it is a mental focusing technique used by your flagship's choir, one that I invented myself. This music was written by an astropath. What my charges and I hear in it is not what ordinary people hear. Its true depth and beauty cannot be fathomed without the Emperor's blessing. The music protects our minds from rudimentary thoughts, purifies and sharpens them. But above all else, it serves as a beacon of sorts amid the tumultuous sea of souls, a thread to lead us home from the deadly maze.
We will speak later, Core Master. I have business to attend.
Goodbye, Your Lordship.
The choirmaster follows you with his otherworldly glowing gaze as you leave, then turns back to the cogitator.
Okay. Let's save. And let's see what can we do here. I think there are some quests here related to this area, but I think it's in the second act. There is a logic thingy here. I'm gonna put the glasses. We might have better shot. 73, not much. Okay, let's save scam. Fuck this. Okay. We did this. There is too much blubbering around here. I'm not gonna stay and listen to what these guys are saying, because holy shit. What's happening here?
The last beacon cannot be saved from the 13th storm. The lapsed father's beloved son will open his yawning maw.
Okay. What is this?
Is inevitable. After the boundless sunset comes the horrific sunrise. brought forth into a wailing world from the womb of...
Okay. That dude was wrecked. I don't know exactly what happened. As Astropath hit the dust. Let's loot these things.
I saw the choir master praying again on
I don't want to miss anything.
I don't think he sleeps at all.
Okay, there are a lot of logic thingies here.
7, 12, 13.
Checks, logic checks. These are logic checks. Let's check this one also. Says Cambonaza.
The machine uses its many quills to waste precious paper.
Yeah, maybe it's a good idea to came here with Pasquale.
Servant SK2.
But we have the saves coming
5, safety switch malfunction on throne 30.
on our side.
Action required. The machine uses its many quills.
Okay, I don't care about what's saying there.
And sorts the resulting raw mental images based on their meaning.
There are a couple of guys here. Let's speak with those guys.
Detecting
I don't know if I missed something or not, but we can come here a little bit later. So which one are these? Astropath, Astropath.
Check the throne's pacifying safety.
Protect us from the machine spirit's unrest, for without his gifts, our sacrifices are fruitless.
You can barely hear the voice of the young astropath standing very still next to the bulky mechanism, his face frozen in a mask of despair. His anemic hands are pressed to his chest, clutching crumpled strips of thick paper. He hears you approach and composes himself. The Enginestealer, his head lowered, does not so much as glance in your direction. With his hands folded underneath his robe, he makes a barely audible, unpleasant sound, a prayer in Technaal lingua.
What is going on here?
The sacred compiler is ailing, your lordship. A gloom has come over the machine spirits, and they are disrupting the mechanism's operation. The 12th row of the drum is now adding incorrect symbols.
The man shows you a stack of papers, and you notice at once that the rows of squiggles in each line all end with the same glyph.
We summon the servants of the Omnissiah, but the machine spirits are none too eager to heed their prayers. The esteemed Enginestealer is in a state of tech prayer trance and hasn't moved from the spot for a day now.
He shrinks his head into his shoulders timidly.
I had the audacity to think the sacred compiler could be better helped by examining its parts, but who am I to question the secret knowledge of the Adeptus Mechanicus?
Why such a trifle of an error?
The young man exclaims in astonishment.
Imagine a single extra character creeping its way into the coordinates for a warp jump and sending the flagship to the center of a star. Imagine the word disloyal. Becoming is loyal, resulting in thousands of your faithful servants falling victim to treachery. Nothing is a trifle to an astropath.
How did you let this happen?
Forgive me, your lordship, but I do not know the answer.
The astropath lowers his voice to a whisper, glancing at the praying Enginestealer.
I'm afraid even the Adeptus Mechanicus don't fully comprehend the workings of this mechanism. We are only knowledgeable on the surface level machines. The receivers commit the messages to paper. The transcribers sort the mental imagery by semantic category and feed it into the thesaurus core. And then the sacred compiler supplements the messages with a list of symbols and their interpretations. However, the mechanism extends far deeper into the bowels of the ship. Therefore, I wouldn't even venture a guess at the possible source of this trouble.
Let us see if there is any way I could help. Okay, so I think there is a quest here, but we are gonna do this with fucking Pasquale because holy shit. These checks are so fucking atrocious for us, so I don't want to spend the entire episode here. Basically, says coming. We are gonna save these guys a little bit later. So we are gonna grab Pascal and then we shall see what's happening here. Where are we? Ah, we are on the augmenting area. That's awesome.
The implantation throne is majestic in its antiquity. The metal bench, surrounded by countless injectors, manipulators, and vid screens, leaves no doubt as to its purpose. The very nature of this machine is designed to transform living bodies by fusing them with blessed iron. Even to the naked eye, it is clear that the machine is ailing, grievously so. The manipulator's segmented tubes hang limply, bleeding unguent, while the dusty lumens are only dimly illuminated. As the tech priests try to revive the relic, each swing of their censer is like a pendulum, ticking down the moments until the throne's untimely demise.
Your Lordship, thank you for gracing the Sector Bionica with your presence. You are already acquainted with Drives Master Zira Tala. It is she who has been tending to the ancient relic. She is here to convey the wretchedness of our present position.
The tech priest slowly extends her mechadendrites, twisting them in an intricate gesture of greeting.
Lord Captain, the blessed machine spirit that dwells within the throne is fading. I and many grieving tech priests have been performing unending sacraments of tech healing and prayers of operational benediction on this shrine, but even our devotions are merely staving off the inevitable. This throne is a creation of the Omnisia, made centuries ago. Even before the unholy desecration of the relic, we were barely able to propitiate its ancient machine spirit to perform sacred augmentation procedures. Many litanies and operating protocols did not survive through the ages. Now, with the demise of the keepers of the implantation throne during the mutiny, they have been lost forever. This sacred machine must be saved at all cost.
What makes this machine so important?
It is unique. One of a kind.
The tech priest's optical augments flash, and surprising fervor creeps into her voice.
In the Logus annals of the Adeptus Mechanicus, this throne is identified as a shrine capable of autonomous augmentation rituals. Its loss is unacceptable, and any condoning of it is sacrilege.
In addition, only the rogue trader or persons authorized by the rogue trader may use it. It is an invaluable investment in your longevity and bodily integrity.
How were the relics damaged?
The high factotum clears his throat and grimaces.
During the uprising instigated by the rebellious Master of Whispers, the Sector Bionica was besieged. The Genitors and Medicae officers heroically defended the throne, but eventually the rebels broke through. Most of the defenders fell in the battle, and many machines were lost or damaged. Many were able to be restored, but the throne was particularly badly damaged.
What sacraments can the throne perform?
The shrine is capable of autonomously healing flesh and blessing it with augmentations under the supervision of a knowledgeable genitor. Complex procedures can be performed with unimaginable speed and precision, and stimulants administered in the required proportions and combinations. It is a true miracle of the Omnisia.
And how do we save the throne?
Only a servant of the machine god endowed with the high rank of Genitor Extremis, versed in all the necessary rituals, and learned in the mystical currents of the motive force, can perform the reparative sacraments and reanimate this mechanism. The only place where one might find such a servant is on the cloistered station of Altar Templum Calixis, Exter 17.
To the best of my knowledge, the cloister Mistress Tala is referring to is located in the Furibundus system. Its denizens are not well disposed to communicating with the laity, but I am willing to leverage every diplomatic connection I possess to gain an audience with the station's clergy.
Dan Rock, I'll rely on your connections.
The Drives Master's Vox Grill emits a Binharik aria of thanks. The High Factotum adjusts his monocle with a satisfied look.
I thank you for your favor, your lordship. Before you depart the Sector Bionica, I would also like to present to you Genitor Majoris Ferenz and Vivisector Jaze Martinax. They are currently performing an urgent procedure and therefore were unable to attend the inspection in person, but I am certain they will receive the rogue trader's visit as a great honor, if you will follow me.
The smell of medical supplies and weak cries of pain fill the cold air. Two figures stand over an operating table. The patient lying upon it is bound in place, and his head is soaked in blood. A woman in uniform is desperately trying to force her way to the table.
Please help my son, in the name of the Golden Throne. I know you can. Notik has endured so much.
The lined face of the middle-deck veteran is contorted with grief. Every word she speaks comes out in a long moan. The Medicaid officer dressed in protective attire briefly looks away from the table to welcome you with a solemn address.
Vivisector Jay-Z Martinax at your service. The Rogue Trader's visit is a momentous event for the Sector Bionica. Will you grant us the honor of observing the operation?
The hunched tech priest on the opposite side of the table erupts in a furious Binharik trill as he struggles to immobilize the thrashing and moaning patient. After a time, he likewise turns his metal-plated face to you.
The life form, Genitor Majoris Ferenz, welcomes Lord Captain von Valancius. I second my colleague's statement.
Watch the pair at work.
With each of his many ocular implants focused closely on the patient, Genitor Ferenz is rooting around inside the man's open skull with a thin, sharp, probe-like instrument. Meanwhile, Chirurgeon Martinax's hands, clad in blood-stained gloves, are holding an injector of yellowish solution, which he administers into the patient's brain matter at regular intervals.
Tell me about the operation.
Lord Captain, our guiding light. My son, Notek, he's injured and dying. I carried him here in my arms on my own so the chirurgeons could pull him back from the brink. Please don't leave us.
The woman's gaze swings from you to the chirurgeons and back again. Her mental state is obviously unstable. Still working the injector, Martinax turns his head to you.
This young man has suffered a serious head injury that requires immediate intervention. The Genitor Majoris and I are attempting to stop the flesh from dying off while simultaneously deciding on a strategy for further treatment.
Is there anything I can do to assist?
With a whirring sound, Ferenz's optical augment focuses on you.
Scanning for the potential utility of the life form, encephalic healing skill is lacking. At present, nothing can be done. Do not be so hasty, colleague. Heal with the mind, not with medicaments. That's one of the key wisdoms of the Officio Medicae.
The vivisector stares at the wounded man's face for a few seconds.
Perhaps your lordship's presence will lend strength to the patient. Try to support the patient while we attempt to stabilize his condition.
Examine the patient.
The man chained to the bed is missing the top part of his skull. The moist pink contents glisten in the lumen light. The patient is conscious. His eyes are open and his parched lips are constantly moving as he mumbles. The man's terrified gaze meets yours and he falls silent.
How curious. It seems the rogue trader's presence is indeed influencing the patient's state of mind.
Martinax looks back at you with interest.
Whether it is a manifestation of devout faith in his anointed, or a bizarre form of delusion, it can only be to our benefit. Whatever you are doing, your lordship, please continue.
Your mother is here, Gonotek. And she's very worried about you. Hold on for her.
The patient's clouded gaze is locked on the woman's face, the corners of his parted lips stretching into the faint semblance of a smile. His mother stares back, almost without blinking.
I have heard that a good story can dull the pain. Would you like to tell me about my adventures? On one occasion...
You do not need to finish the tale. A moment later, the two people leaning over the patient simultaneously raise their instruments and, in a colorless voice, the tech priest proclaims,
registering the complete stabilization of the life form's condition. Internal cortical damage has been treated, requesting closure of the calotte and transfer of the victim to B-class stimulants. He will live, but the stimulants won't replace that part of his brain. If we implant the sacred cortical augment in his skull, it will restore his lost ability to think and act. Lord Captain, please, your subject has a genuine need for this augmentation. This constitutes a violation of the sacred directives. The value of an individual life form is incomparably less than the value of the sacred technology required. Augmetics of the specified class are rare and are restricted to senior officers, thus dictate the regulations of the Sector Bionica.
Who is this man?
An expendable life form to be utilized in void battles, one of thousands. A soldier from a Voidsman combat unit and a devoted servant of the Emperor. Lord Captain, this young man has been fighting for his life, even through horrendous pain. If you allow the augmentation to be installed, his perseverance will become an example for others to emulate.
My only son. He's serving in a void unit. I was the one who told him to go there, my poor Notek.
Rasps the woman from behind the Medicae officers. Hey!
What the fuck is that? How was he injured?
In the last void battle, Lord Captain, where he barely survived his injuries. He has suffered a few healing attempts from charlatans on the lower decks and endured a long road to come here. However, no weapon can destroy the devotion and fortitude of a true servant of the God Emperor.
What are your respective proposals?
I understand that my opinion may strike you as strange, for the mere fact that this poor soul has found his way to the Sector Bionica might itself be regarded as a blessing. Yet hear me out. The installation of a cortical augmentation will restore the patient to health, serving as an example for the rest of us through his heroism. This will inspire the people and strengthen their faith in the Lord Captain, and let them know that the rogue trader's mercy will not abandon them in their hour of need. The life form on the operating table is easily replaceable and does not possess any substantial functional value. Therefore, installation of the implant would be devoid of sense. Proposing replacement of lost function by means of Class B powder stimulants. The life form will have limited viability and will be gifted an optimal termination period with partial functionality.
The Medicae officer and the tech priest exchange glances.
Yeah, we are gonna give an argument. I'm gonna be a fair leader. We are gonna go like a dogmatic route, but we are gonna also toy a little bit with iconoclast. Feed the argument.
We hear and obey, Lord Captain.
Martinex offers you a graceful bow.
I will see to the implantation at once, and the esteemed servant of the Omnissiah will assist me in this procedure.
The Genitor Majoris' response in Vinharic carries a distinct tone of displeasure. Ignoring his colleague's reaction, the vivisector begins inserting thin augmentation spikes into the patient's brain with uncanny precision. Before long, the iron plate of the cortical implant replaces the damaged bone with a resounding crunch. In the silence, you hear the soft sobs of a woman. Notek's mother is weeping helplessly, furiously wiping her eyes with her hand, but now a smile of relief lights up her face.
Thank you, your lordship. I will remember your intercession for the rest of my life and pray for your good fortune.
Okay, so this was it, right? I don't think we can do anything. We can speak with these guys here since we are here on the voidship. Let's finish most of our chores, cause holy shit. Okay, Argenta, fuck this.
Never doubt me.
I get an implant. Remote revitalizer MK officers. The range at which medkits and stimulants can be used is increased by 2. When a medkit is used to restore an ally wound, it restores 15% of target missing wounds. When a stimulant is used to restore the target missing wounds, it also grants the ally momentum equal to that ally resolve. The user weapon skill and ballistic skill are reduced. Yeah, we have negative effects basically on everything. We got some steams. These are really nice, and we got some Medicae. This one is a large one. Okay. That's a good find. Let's see what else is here.
Registering machine spirit response to Sacred Omega 7 Gamma procedure, negative.
I'm gonna speak with these guys.
Machine is in grievous anguish, proposing
And I think this episode will consist only on chores on the ship, because holy shit, we did a lot of conversation in this episode.
A tall wisp of a man hurriedly turns to you. He is wearing an apron covered with dark splotches, and his thin arms are sheathed up to the elbow in medical gloves.
Your lordship, I apologize for my appearance.
The Medicae officer bows low.
My name is Jays Martinax, and I serve as vivisector in the Sector Bionica. It is an untold honor to welcome you to our deck. First of all, allow me to express my gratitude for permitting me to place a cortical implant in the injured man. Thanks to your mercy, one more person has been able to continue his service to the God Emperor.
The vivisector makes the sign of the Aquila with his hands and bows to you again, even more deeply than before.
Firstly, I must boldly warn you that until the relic that powers the Sector Bionica with the miraculous knowledge of the Omnisia is healed, to my deepest sorrow, the installation of sacred implants cannot be performed.
For all his florid speech, more typical of a noble than a chirurgeon, Martinax speaks with genuine sadness.
Why is the implant throne so important to you?
It is probably a consequence of my years of practice among the genitors.
The chirurgeon listens with genuine sadness to the lilting sounds of the Bin-Arik hymn sung by the technomats to keep the ancient machine alive.
I learned much of the craft of healing from them, and after I found myself in the Sector Bionica, the machine spirit that inhabits this relic became my mentor. The artistry with which this machine joins flesh and sacred metal is so laborious and delicate that no human can replicate its efforts. Many Medicae officers here have accomplished great things in their practice, but these successes are only crude imitations of the healing sacraments performed by the throne on their patients. Its loss would rob the Sector Bionica of its soul, Lord Captain. We cannot allow that to happen.
Tell me about Sector Bionica.
The Sector Bionica is a special part of the Medicae facility where we employ augmetics and implants to give life back to those who have been irreparably injured. We replace lost organs with consecrated technologies and offer the maimed the chance to serve the God Emperor once more. The sector's assistants and Medicae officers report to me, while its tech priests report to Junetta Ferenz. Few vessels can boast a Medicae concilium of such quality.
What does Vivisector do?
My primary task is to heal the flesh, Lord Captain. I oversee the processes involved in the workings of the body, and in the case of augments, how well they are joined to the flesh. You might say I make sure that the metal sacred to the Omnissiah becomes a true extension of the living body.
The chirurgeon raises his chin proudly.
You work in tandem with the Genestealer, don't you?
That's right. Ferenz is in the business of coaxing machine spirits with the most sophisticated augmetics.
Martinax's face twists into a strange expression.
Who makes the final decision during procedures?
I am in charge of the Sector Bionica. I do not mean to belittle the servants of the Adeptus Mechanicus in general, and certainly not Ferenz in particular, but they have much to learn from the Officio Medici when it comes to healing.
Martinax's voice sounds undeniably smug.
Tell me more about yourself.
I am delighted to have earned your attention, gracious Lord Captain. What exactly do you wish to know?
How did you come to serve on the flagship? How did you become a vivisector?
I come from a noble line on Janus. Family legend has it that my ancestors knew the secret of the planet's terraforming technology. I, on the other hand, have chosen the path that allows me to transform the person rather than the planet. Advanced terraforming in a way. Augmentation makes humanity stronger than any phenomenon in nature. Isn't that what the God Emperor wants us to be?
Why do tech priests permit you to work alongside them? Augmentics are their preserve, are they not?
An astute observation, Lord Captain. I am proud to tell you that I had the honor of serving alongside members of the Adeptus Mechanicus back on my home planet. Among the tech priests of Janus, there are entire divisions headed by genitors. The knowledge of the Officio Medici was essential during more complicated procedures, for the sacred remit of genitors does not include tending to patients' mortal bodies. That is when an experienced medici must be brought into the ritual. And thus, we found some common ground. I must stress that the esteemed genitors do not permit me direct access to the machines, since none but they themselves are versed in the mysteries of operating them. My purview is limited to the organic aspect.
You and Ferenz do not get along.
For a second, Martinax's impenetrably friendly tone cracks, and he sighs waspishly.
Yes, Lord Captain, sometimes we seriously disagree. Ferenz believes that replacing flesh with iron and receiving the blessing of the Omnissiah is the privilege of the few. I, on the other hand, make no distinction between servants of the God Emperor. Every faithful soul deserves a chance to continue working for the glory of humanity. I'm afraid it's not always easy for Ferenz and I to find a compromise.
Let's talk about something else.
As you say, Lord Captain.
I want to talk about my leave.
Take care of yourself, Lord Cap.
Okay. We have the other dude, Ferenz. Let's save. Maybe we need to do some checks.
The tech priest stares at you with a single visor. Amidst a tangle of metal and wires, the Vox caster replacing his mouth hisses.
Scanning life form, visit registered. Welcome to the Sector Bionica, Lord Captain. You will be received by Genitor Majoris Ferenz.
The tech priest turns, and you suddenly realize that he was standing with his back to you. The front of his head is covered in blinking visors.
With the highest priority, I notify the Lord Captain that the sacred Archaeotech is still in an agonal state caused by the malicious actions of the rebels. The functionality of the Sector Bionica is limited. The life form, Genitor Majoris Ferenz, humbly awaits your assistance in purifying the reliquary mechanism.
Why do you care so much about curing the throne's machine sickness?
Deep bass notes carrying genuine reverence rumble in Ferenz's hiss.
I am inclined to conclude that the Archaeotech augmentation machine harbors a spirit that blesses all things around it with the grace of the Omnissiah.
The Geneta sweeps a mechadendrite over the space around him.
Its nodes and pistons are filled with the wisdom of the machine god, unfathomable to humble adepts, and if entropy consumes the spirit entirely, such wisdom will be lost. While the body of the machine remains in dysfunction, its spirit suffers from idleness. The motive force cannot nourish it, and its lenses remain blind. Litanies and rituals keep such an ancient creation of the Omnisia from fading away completely, but these are only palliative measures. And if the spirit abandons its receptacle, the Sector Bionica will fall into decay, for this relic serves the same function as the heart does in human life forms.
Tell me about the Sector Bionica.
The Sector Bionica performs the repair and installation of sacred augmetics for those who demonstrate the most efficient service to the ship.
What does the Generator Majoris do?
Those bearing the rank of Genitor bestow
Janitor,
blessings
not
on
Generator, holy
installation,
shit.
consecration and maintenance of the augments, thus drawing the feeble bodies of humanity closer to maximum efficiency pleasing to the Omnisia.
You work in tandem with the Vivisector, don't you?
I deem the results of your scan to be accurate. The Vivisector performs the functions of preparing the carrier for installation of the maximum efficiency configuration.
Who makes the final decision during procedures?
The opinion of the Vivisector lifeform carries the most weight. The request for a review of the chain of command has not been granted.
I wish to know more about you.
Given your inability to conduct a scan, I will respond to a limited set of inquiries.
How did you come to serve in the Sector Bionica?
I maximized the efficiency of the life forms serving within the sacred manufactorum on Kiava Gamma. By the blessing of the Omnisia, I ascended to Genitor rank and was deployed to this flagship. My proficiency in installing augmetics was appraised as exceptional by the previous rogue trader.
Are the tech priests of the Omnisia even allowed to work with living flesh? I thought you hold it in contempt.
Flesh is weak, but its efficiency can be improved with blessed metal. According to the directives of the Omnisia, pivotal life forms like pivotal mechanisms must withstand maximum stress and produce the best results. My duty lies in improving them.
Let's try this check. You and Martin X do not get along?
Scanning. Response affirmative. The Vivisector lifeform regrettably ignores the sacred requirements of efficiency in the service of the Omnisia, attributing it to rudimentary experiences.
Let's talk about something else.
If it improves the efficiency of our interaction,
it does not. I must take my leave.
A brief trill of farewell comes from the box. The Genitor turns away, but the visor on the back of his head keeps watching you.
Yeah, okay. I don't think there's anything that we can do here. Let's check this area fast. If there's something here. If it's not, we can get the fuck out and go to the galaxy map or whatever it is called, star map. We need to go into the Void Bridge because holy shit, this episode was a long one. We didn't do anything, we just did the chores on the map. So, yeah. I'm eager to do something else. Yeah, let's go on the Koronus Expanse map and probably here it is where we are gonna end this episode.
Permission to report, Lord Captain. Members of a sacred cult operating aboard this ship have requested an audience. They wish to present gifts and introduce themselves to their new captain.
What sacred cult?
They call themselves the Blood-Spun Web. The cult defends the flagship from both internal and external threats. Lady Theodora held them in high regard and looked favorably upon their activities.
Okay, so we need to receive them. Apparently the game doesn't allow me to end this episode, so yeah, let's go. I'm ready to receive them.
I will commence preparations at once, Lord Captain.
That's good because we can take Kibellah next. And we have more characters to Rykad Minoris.
Those on the deck watch in awe as the final figure moves gracefully into a ceremonial pose. Some of the officers whisper in excitement, while others murmur prayers to the God Emperor.
The Undying Emperor commanded us to spin a web of blood around his children, and we obeyed. We obey still. Domin von Valancius, death has whispered your name. We disown Domin Theodora. We renounce our oath to her. And now we give the gift of our blood to you. It is the gift of death. Death has whispered your name. The followers of the tenets of the web swear fealty to their new overlord and offer proof of their devotion. We give you a blade, the silent verdict. The Undying One has chosen you to wield this instrument of death. We give you one of our own, Kibellah. She will be your shield and shadow. And we give you the blood of these traitors. The tenets of the web will purify their souls.
You have heard many stories about death cults, such as this one. These devoted, holy assassins of the Imperium have turned death into a form of worship of the Emperor. They are exemplary slayers, invisible executioners, and the scourge of traitors, heretics, and fallen souls. Many righteous people honor them as votaries of the faith, while others see their fearsome rituals as frenzied spectacles touched by madness. The cultists are all voidborn. Their lithe, sinewy bodies are clad in light armor, which allows them to move with an acrobat's nimble grace and strike with an assassin's swift surety. Their red and black vestments are adorned with sharp spikes and ritual jewelry. Where time and training have worn their garments threadbare, you can make out patterns of bleeding lacerations. The prisoners cower beneath the weight of your gaze. Blood drips down the tear-stained faces of the captured officers, technomats, and workers. A word has been carved into each of their foreheads with meticulous precision. Traitor, heretic, apostate, renegade. The cuts have been diligently and regularly reopened to prevent healing.
These renegades committed treachery against their domin. Their lips once praised the name of Kunrad Voigtveer, but it is your name they will whisper as they cross over to the other side.
Interesting. So a death cult watches over my crew. They who honor the Emperor through killing, who devote their every deed to serving him, sacred executioner.
The Domin has discerned our essence. This is a great honor for the blood-spun web. We have woven the bays of this ship together with the threads of our faith for many years. We keep the greatest relic, his tarot, through which he sends us his blessed revelations. We obey the whispers of the Undying One. This is our service to him. This is our service to you.
Your heart is filled with awe as you gaze at the cultists. You recognize this feeling. You have experienced it before, when you walked through the scorching flame and survived. The eyes of your grim guests burn bright with sacrificial fervor. They serve the God Emperor with wholehearted faith and devotion.
What exactly does a cult like the Bloodspan Web do?
The tenets of the web teach us to read the threads of the future and understand the hearts of others. When a soul is filled with the poison of corruption, we know its time has come. We bring liberation. 3 strikes, 3 rebukes, 1 blade. This is how we serve the Undying One. This is how we serve you and your flagship. But there are others, the virtuous martyrs who contravene his design without realizing it. Those who have come too close to faltering or committing an apostasy, but have not erred yet. We present such souls to the Undying One.
You kill innocent people?
We do not desire their death. We do not seek them out in the darkness. They come to us, and we usher them from this life if his sacred tarot reveals that the Emperor wishes to accept these martyrs.
You mentioned the tenets of the web. What are they?
Our laws and teachings, our philosophy and way of life, our art of combat and spiritual dogma. The tenets are the blood-spun web itself. Humanity owes its existence to the Undying Emperor's sacrifice. It is he who protects us from a darkness of terrors. Hence, each of us has a duty to serve him, and a duty to die for him. To act otherwise is to waste the life that has been given to us by the Undying One, to become a thief. We help others understand this. We help them to live and die righteously.
You have my blessing. May your blades bring swift death to the Emperor's enemies.
The blood-spun web will not forget your words, Domin. They are the wisdom of the tenets and the benediction of our duty.
Tell me about yourself, Kibellah. Are you the leader of the Bloodspan Web, or its herald, or its servant?
I am the second spinner of the blood-spun web. The honor of this title is bestowed only upon those who have ushered more souls than... It is shameful to speak of one's own deeds. I'm here to become your shadow, not to make boasts.
Nod towards the captives. Why have you brought this rebel to the upper decks?
So you may offer the souls of these traitors as a gift to him. You have the authority to order their execution. Their blood will bind us together through him. For the God Emperor, the Undying One is death itself. The Undying One is duty itself. Give the order, Domin. Let a spinner of the blood-spun web undergo the test of a sacred trial.
Give weapons to the traitors. It's time for Kibellah to prove herself.
A dagger that has not sliced through sinew is nothing more than a toy. Let the final dance begin.
Your Emperor won't save you!
Okay, so we play with Kibellah. At least we have some action in this one. This guy is are having almost 0 damage. We can basically use this on us. Get some blood. And then we can jump right here. I think Kibellah is a lot powerful than our character if we play as a blade dancer. I don't know, I feel like it just with this vial it's super powerful. Like we have blood seed.
Death is a blessing. Trust me.
Yeah, let's wreck this dude. Okay, she leveled up because she starts at level 4. We are gonna level her up in this episode because we are gonna take her on Rykard Minoris. So we need to kill again a couple more. Holy shit, seriously game?
As the tenants demand.
Can we cleave? Yeah, we can. They are aligned like really nicely, so we can use the that from above. This will debuff us every time. Okay, that dude hit me.
Only the faithful will ascend.
Okay, that's not ideal, but it is what it is. I think I want to kill this one. Holy shit! That was a lot of splatter. Let's see. Nice, we parried that. And I think this is it.
A cut to the heart, a cut to the throat, a cut to the stomach. These wounds have been inflicted according to his pleasure. The blood of the apostates will wash away the stain of their treachery, so that their souls may prostrate themselves before the Undying One's throne and beg his forgiveness.
Kibellah wipes the blood from her blade in one swift movement.
I have acted with reverence and shown proof of my loyalty. Will you accept me, Domin Captain? Will you make me your shield and shadow?
Your lordship, the spinners of the blood-spun web were watching, tracking, and killing von Valancia's enemies long before the warrant of trade passed to Lady Theodora. However, their blade has also been known to cut short the lives of highly upstanding persons.
The factotum swallows nervously, casting a fleeting glance at Kibellah.
But I certainly do not in any way condemn the deeds of the deeply esteemed cult. I'm sure they must have had good reason.
The Master-at-Arms clears her throat.
The cultists are the scourge of the seditious. They bring the unrighteous to ruin. The enforcers respect the blood-spun web, for we share a common goal, to bring his light and his harsh justice to the darkest depths of this ship.
Scourge of the seditious or not, folk are afraid of them for a reason. A couple of watches ago, these spinners took a train driver to pieces for some kind of ritual. I don't know what old Malok did to earn that privilege, though. And who's going to feed his family now? Heinrich takes a drag on his low stick, exhaling the thick smoke through his clenched teeth. But that's a lower decker problem. What matters is that the blood-spun web serves you faithfully, Lord Captain.
My predecessor's predecessor once delivered a sermon about how the spinners saved this vessel from the servants of the archenemy. The blood-spun web paid the price in blood, a river of scarlet that flooded the decks from bridge to bilge. They became the blood of the flagship, the pulse in its veins, and the beat of its heart. Their great sacrifice earned them the favor of House von Valancius.
Confessor, tell me about the spinner's great sacrifice.
The vessel was beset by famine and pestilence during a long warp jump. The flagship wandered uncharted paths in the immaterium for 20 cycles straight. Servants of the archenemy used the despairing hearts of the crew to infiltrate the ship, and death followed. The hungry became the hunted. The famished became a feast. The exhausted crew was too weak and emaciated to resist the invaders. But then the spinners emerged from the depths. They stood alone against hundreds of foes, yet they did not falter. They did not sleep or rest as their blade-tip dance brought death. Though many spinners fell, the blood-spun web held strong until the flagship left the turmoil of the warp.
I wish to hear what my retinue thinks.
I have heard, though only at a distance, the prayers the spinners offer up to him. I have seen how their deeds fill the people's hearts with confidence in the inevitability of his wrath. The blood-spun web's loyalty to the Emperor is without question, as is their willingness to lay down their lives in the fight against the arch-enemy.
Although Lady Theodora never granted the cult an audience or brought a spinner into her retinue, she respected the blood-spun web and approved of its mission.
It is strange. Their shadowy forms are swathed in darkness, yet a radiant light burns within them like scarlet flame. I think it is a good sign. It is rare to see anyone filled with such light, even among servants of the faith.
You will be my shadow, Kibellah.
Kibellah's movements are slow, almost rhythmic, as she removes her ceremonial mask. The dark shadows of her eyes accentuate the deathly pallor of her skin, which is covered in ritual scars.
Henceforth, I am your shadow, Doman Captain von Valancius, an instrument of death placed in your hand by the Undying One, for so it was ordained, and so his tarot forspoke.
The young woman bows her head once more.
I also come bearing an invitation from the Vizier of the Bloodspun Web. He wishes you to know that the doors to the Undying One's temple are open to you.
Are you suggesting the Lord Captain should go down into the depths of his flagship to search for this temple? With all due respect, the lower decks are for servants and crew. They are not a fitting place for his lordship.
Forspoke, what do you mean, what tarot?
The greatest, most sacred relic of the Bloodspun Web, the Emperor's Tarot. Only his chosen servants may earn the permission to rain blood upon the cards and perform a reading to see portents of the future, shadows of the past, or tangles of the present. However, the secrets of his tarot are not for the ears of lay people to hear. I cannot tell you more. Not here, not now.
Who is this Vizier?
He is the first among us. The Vizier has spun the web of faith for fivefold longer than I have lived. Blood of the flagship's blood, my mentor and teacher.
Why is the Vizier not here to deliver the message himself?
The first spinner is old. His abode is in the temple beneath the flagship's freight line, and he has not left the lower decks in decades. Even a short journey could sunder the spirit from his ancient body.
Where is your temple located?
I am not permitted to say. If you wish to find the temple, you must walk the path of Saint Ariane, the matriarch spider. Hers was the thread that would become the blood-spun web. Her path began deep within the flagship, in the dark tunnels of the freight line, and that is where yours must begin as well. This journey will bring you closer to the thread of the web, closer to the Undying One, closer to understanding death.
I do not see the point of these riddles. Your temple is part of my flagship. What is to stop me from simply walking inside?
You must become the blood of the flagship before you can enter the sacred temple of the Undying One. I cannot guide your way, but I can walk by your side.
I will walk in the footsteps of Maitreya Spider.
Your journey will begin in the darkness of the deepest tunnels. The Vizier awaits you.
The cultists retreat into the shadows as Kibellah sheathes her ceremonial dagger.
Your blade awaits direction, Domin Captain. We will speak again when the time is right.
Okay. So I think we have finished most of the things right now on the ship. I'm gonna go and focus on Rykite Minoris next, and
Your Lordship.
we are gonna basically get to the end of the first part, and after that we are gonna come here and probably find this Bloodspawn Web cult location. So we are gonna set up. Right now I'm gonna level up Kibellah because we are gonna take her on our journey. So she starts at level 4 with Medicae. Medicae is really good because the Blade Dancers likes to take damage and deal damage. So the more damage they take, the higher the damage. That waltz it's really good. And we have that Warden. The Blade Dancer's Medicae is now determined by weapon skill instead of intelligence, which is pretty nice. Next, at level 5, we are gonna go with Dueling Mastery. Let me see where it is. Yeah, basically what grants us, it grants us a lot of parry. We need parry because we are gonna be like in the heat of the fight, like close to everyone, and she's a little bit squishy. The thing is, we can do a lot of damage with her, but she can be put down really fast. And we are gonna go with weapon skill. At the next level, we are gonna get Blood Oath. Basically what this does, the ability costs 8 wounds to use. The Blade Dancer targets a single enemy, vowing to dispatch their mark. The Blade Dancer next attack against their selected enemy cannot be dodged or parried. If this attack kills the target, the Blade Dancer regain 13 wounds and gain 1 AP along with an additional attack this turn. This ability can be used multiple times per turn, but it grants 1 AP and an additional attack once per round. The thing is, it's good to use it once on an enemy that you are sure to kill with the next attack, and that's pretty nice. And next we are gonna go with Medicae because we need a lot of Medicae with her. Next we are gonna go with weapon skill again. Weapon skill is king on the melee characters, to be honest. And probably I'm gonna go with Blood Rush. Whenever the Blade Dancer uses an ability that costs wounds, they gain 3 movement points in the same turn. Basically we can use Blood Oath, and basically we can move a lot faster, or not a lot faster, a lot we can cover more distance. Okay, next level, I do not know exactly what we can pick here. Nothing is really good for us. Athletics, I don't care about it. It's strength. Demolition, it's agility, but we don't care. We might go with awareness because I don't think there's anything else good here. Carouse is bad. Coercion also bad. Let's go with awareness. And here we can also go here. Basically, I will like these Death Cult Assassin. These are really nice. Let me check this one. Crimson Tide. A creature with a blood blessed or blood stain effect gain 1 stack of this effect whenever raining blood is inflicted again, or whenever it starts its turn on a blood covered cell. Okay, so this ties really well with the vial that she has. That's pretty nice. Okay, so let's go with this one. I like also these, like this one is really nice. Okay, so I think that's it for the moment. We are gonna speak with Kibellah a little bit more after we are finishing with Rykite Minoris, because holy shit, this episode was really long, and to be honest, we progressed a lot of things on our ship. We basically went to the most of the compartments that we have available right now. We are still having a quest with the Bloodspawn Web basically with the Blade Dancers DLC. But we are gonna tackle that a little bit later. Right now we are gonna focus on Rykar Minoris because, my god, I want to get Pascal. Probably we are gonna replace Idira. I really love Pascal, and I don't think she brings too much value right now. After we are grabbing Henrix, probably I'm gonna replace Kibellah, and my main party composition will be myself, because yeah, Abelard, because he's really good, Argenta, Pasquale, Cassia, and Henrix for the moment, and we shall see afterwards. I think these are the main characters that we can use. Probably for the romance, as I said in the previous episode, we are gonna go with Jay. I really love Jay, but to be honest, since she starts from level 15, I do not know if we are gonna use her too much. I'm gonna use Ulfar. I really enjoy him. It's a space marine, so that's why I like to play with him, but in my opinion he doesn't feel too powerful. Argenta, it's way powerful, but we shall see. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope I'm gonna see you next time. Have a great day. Bye.